Hey guys, this is Red Taylor with the Red Hot Read Show, and I wanted to talk to you today about relationships and what I think are the most important factors into creating and maintaining long-lasting and meaningful relationships. And I want to begin this from a guy who has had a devastating occurrence in my life, and that's my first marriage is a failed marriage, and it's something that I will forever relate to as the biggest and greatest failure of my life. I wanted to. It was extremely important to me to be a good husband, a good father, and a good family man. It still is. And my first wife and I were married for almost 18 years, and it just I failed. I was not able to be the man that she needed me to be. I was not able to be a person who was able to support her to emotionally and mentally. I was always supporting financially, and that's what I thought it was supposed to be, being a young, entrepreneur and really me driven type of person. I thought that financial and structural support was doing my job and my duty. And in reality, what I was missing is the emotional and, the personal support of a woman who needed me to lift her up and to help her to be the person that she needed to be and that could be. And so, with that being, I failed, and I failed I failed her, and I failed my children. I failed myself. And so, what I hope to do today is to give you guys some of the lessons that I learned along the way that I believe can help you in the most important relationship of your life, which would be your marriage. And I encourage marriage. I think marriage is something that we're getting away from far too often. Young people, listen to me. If you're 20 years old, if you're 22, if you're 24, and you want to be successful in life, find a spouse, find a mate, get married, and have children. Okay? There are no doubt that there are no irregularities in the statistics that those who find a lifetime mate and get married and start a family early have a far greater statistically chance of being successful long term in life. But going back to the relationships, we have so many relationships in our life. We have our parents that we have relationships with. We have our siblings, our brothers and sisters that we have relationships with. We have our friends. We have our extended family that we have relationship with. We have coworkers, people that we work with that we have relationships with. Our children, people that are in our children's extended circle that relationships are with. So relationships are so important to us, and the older I get, the longer that I live, I have learned and realized that growing meaningful and impactful, long-lasting relationships will help. It helps me to become successful. It helps me to become more fulfilled and have more joy in my life. And I think it helps me to be more successful in reaching my goals and reaching what I feel like is the achievement and the extraordinary measures in life. And so, what are the pillars? What are the elements that we have to have in order to be able to create and maintain long-term, lasting, meaningful relationships? The first one I think there is trust. I think you have to have a mutual trust that you're in it for each other, right? I think that as adults that we realize that we only have a few people in our life. Usually we can count them on one hand that we actually can trust, okay? Hopefully that's our spouse, and hopefully it's our very tight-knit friend group, because we live in these communities, we live in these areas where we have friends and associates that we hang out with on the weekends or at the ballpark or things of that nature. And the longer we live, the more we realize we really can't trust them, because they generally aren't in it for us. Because deep down inside, nobody wants to see you win. very few people want to see you succeed. So many people are driven by emotional downfalls like greed, envy, okay? And so when you win, that means it's bad on them. Okay? It's to see me be successful is a negative upon them. Well, those are people that we can't trust. And so if you're looking for long-lasting, meaningful relationships, then we have to find people that we can trust. Trust is built, it's worked on. In a marriage, trust means that we're there emotionally for our spouse. Okay, on the good days and on the bad days. You know, if you're married, you set a vow, and the vow is a living vow. And as I get older, I'm learning that the vow grows and it changes and it evolves. And so, you know, I'm never going to stop learning. And it is a desire of mine to be a great husband, to be a dynamic husband. I have this wonderful wife who loves me, who supports me, who lifts me up, who's there for me. And so it's extremely important for me to be the man that she needs me to be. Am I that all the time? Heck no, guys. I'm a screw up. I'm telling you, okay? I am as you know, as bad as there is at being self-driven, self-focused, self-motivated, because I stay so dialed in to the business side of things that I'm trying to accomplish right now, okay? In fact, we just had this situation arise the last couple of days. I woke up one morning thinking, hey man, I'm going to do this podcast on relationships. I've got all this great information. I can go pillar, pillar, pillar. I can talk all this stuff. And, you know, I felt really good about myself, okay? Well, lo and behold, I look over at Steph during the course of the day and she's not happy. And so I said, hey babe, what's going on? You don't seem happy. And you know, she put me in my place. She said, listen, I need you to take off your Red Taylor insurance hat. I need you to take off your Red Hot Read Show hat, to take off your growing your business hat, to scaling your business hat, and I need you to put on your I'm your husband hat. And I didn't want to hear that, okay? I'm telling you right now, I did not want to hear that. My pride, my ego, my red, my me, I didn't want to hear that. But she was absolutely right. She was absolutely right. And I trust her enough, and I respect her enough, and I love her enough to have been able to slow down and listen and try to hear her and try to understand her and empathize with her, what she was going through. Guys, we all go through stuff every single day. Everybody is going through battles. We're fighting demons. We're fighting troubles, adversity that you and I don't know anything about them, okay? People walking along the street. Everybody you meet is fighting a battle that you don't know anything about. And so the ones that are most important to us are the folks that we have our most meaningful relationships with. And so if we're able to slow down and be present and be intentional, then we have a greater opportunity at being successful in these relationships. The next thing that I believe is extremely important in relationships is forgiveness. I've told everyone the story about forgiveness and how it's impacted my life and what it's done in my life. You know, my mother, she was murdered, and you know, she's my mom, right? She's my mom. I mean, mothers have a special power on all of us that us dads, we don't really understand it. We can't compete with that power. We can't compete with that pull. The earth rotational on its axis, gravity. We can't compete with that power. We really don't understand it. But I think hearing me today, you could probably relate to how you feel about your mama and how that pull has on you and your heart and your emotions. Well, mine was taken from the world in the middle of the night senselessly by a man with a gun who was drunk and just fired the gun off and happened to kill my mother. And I was 24 years old, and I could have been angry and resentful and full of contempt and wanted to, get revenge and all those things. And I want you to know that I had that in me, okay? But somehow, some way, I was able to forgive that man. And when I did that, it opened the ways of goodness and to opportunity and to joy and success and fulfillment in my life. And I believe that it can do the same for you. Okay. Why do you forgive other people? Why would we forgive those who have harmed us? Why would we forgive those who have wronged us? Why would we forgive those who have taken our heart, slammed it on the floor, and stomped on it without mercy? Because the forgiveness is not for that person. It's for me. And it's for you. And I promise you, if you're able to forgive, truly forgive people, then it's going to open up the ways for you to have loving, long-term, meaningful, impactful relationships that allow each of you to go and impact the world for good. So pray for forgiveness. Focus on forgiveness, okay? We're all humans. None of us have the blueprint to perfection. None of us do, okay? I am going to screw up 178 times today. I probably already have. I've probably met and exceeded my quota. And you are too, okay? And so if we're able to understand that and forgive other people, wouldn't we all live in a better existence? Wouldn't we all have an opportunity to have better relationships? Of course we would. So trust and forgiveness are extremely important pillars. The next one is going to be loyalty, okay? In order to have long-lasting, meaningful relationships, we have to be loyal to the people that we love. We have to be loyal to our spouses. You have to learn to be loyal to the people that you're in business with. One of the things that I learned in coaching back when I was back in the 90s in old school coaching, I don't think it's as prevalent today as it was back then, is that you're loyal. You have to be loyal to the coaches that are in the room with you, okay? When I was in high school, coaching high school ball, you're loyal to the head coach, okay? If you ever wanted to look for a new job, or if somebody came to you for a new opportunity, if they were a man of integrity or a coach of a character, then they went through the head coach to get to you. They didn't come to me. If I was one of his assistants, they'd go to the head coach. That's loyalty. If somebody did come to me, my job was to go to the head coach. Say, hey, coach, this guy over here asked me if I'd be interested in talking to him about a position he has open. Okay? That's the loyalty and the respect that's due to those that had given us an opportunity. And I think in your relationships, loyalty means fidelity in marriage, right? Okay? One of the greatest difficulties that I think that we have of our time is fidelity, right? And it's not new. I mean, people have been unfaithful and adulterous for, thousands of years. But today, think about it, guys. I mean, we have these phones, these social media, okay? By the time that you wake up in the morning, from the time that you roll into the office, you have seen 200 images of the opposite sex and gender, and probably in a manner by which they're not wearing a whole lot of good clothes, right? Or they got a bunch of muscles popped out, or a bunch of features, curves popped out, look like a bottle of Coke, okay? And so what that does, those are temptations, those are visuals and implants in our mind and in our fiber, that there's all this better stuff out there, these shiny gold objects out there. And why doesn't my spouse look like this? Why don't my husband looked like this model with a six-pack of abs and all these, wonderful features all over his body, this chiseled, jaw, and this beautiful wavy hair. Why doesn't my spouse look like this in some bikini? It's not fair. It's not real. It's all fake and made up in belief, and it's from the enemy to try to kill, steal, and destroy our relationships and our joy from us, right? Because we know that if we are unfaithful to our spouses, if we break that loyalty, then even if the relationship is able to be salvaged, trust is gone. Loyalty's gone. And how long and to what extent do the activities, the measures do we have to go to earn back that trust? And so, when you have these relationships in your life, your spouse, your friends, your colleagues, pray that you have the wisdom to place such a value on them that you don't break the loyalty and break the trust. Because when you do, how in the world do we ever get it back? Right? And how many of us have been guilty of that? We all have been. And so that's how important it is. But if we're able to place that value on the relationship and realize it every day, how valuable the relationship is, how terrible and monumentally devastating it would be to lose that relationship, because we know the grass ain't greener. Okay? It's just another patch of grass, right? It ain't greener. It's just another set of problems. All these people, everybody getting divorced. 55%, 50% of marriages, I guess, are ending in divorce these days. And then what percentage, let me ask you this question. Ask yourself this question right now. How many couples do you know, how many married couples do you know that are happy together? Okay? How many married couples do you know that are happy together? Why? They were at one time. They saw the good in each other at one time. They loved each other at one time. They entered into holy matrimony together at one time before God and all of their friends and family, and they made a vow to each other at one time. Why are they not happy now? You know why? Because it's about me, 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 me. And it's not about we and us and trust and forgiveness and loyalty and compromise. We have a bad habit of focusing on the bad. Think about it. Think about it. If you focus on the bad of your life, which is probably only about 10, 15%, because we all got bad in our life, but man, we got it so good these days. I mean, dude, you got running water. You got easy sewage, okay? You can flip on the faucet and you got hot and cold water at your beck and call. If you're hungry, run through the drive-thru. You want light? Flip on the light switch. We got it pretty good, right? Okay, you want to go make money? There's about 1 billion ways to go make money right now today. So we've got it pretty good, but somehow, some way, we tend to focus on the bad. Well, if we focus on the 10% bad, then we take the 10% bad and we make it feel like the 90%. We make it feel big. Well, she doesn't do my laundry. Well, he don't cut the grass the way I want it to. Well, he don't make enough money. Well, she don't cook healthy food for me. Honestly, we all do it. We all do it. But what if we flipped it over and we learned how to focus on the 90% that's good and we push that bad down? How big would the good get? How big, how great would it become? And how great would your relationships become? So, and I promise you, I'm talking to myself as well, because I have a tendency, just like everybody else, to focus on the negative and to really to self-talk myself negatively, which is so detrimental. And that's another topic that we're going to discuss at a later time, is how do we talk to ourselves and what are the results of that. So anyway, once again, I just encourage that we focus on the good in our relationships, which will squash the bad and minimize the bad. We want to be able to give that person our time. Okay. Why have we lost the idea, the principle, the practice of giving our children, of giving our spouses, of giving our friends our time? Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Because we're all so invested in these things, okay? In these social media. Apple will tell you, it is in their description of what their goal is. They want mind control. They want your mind. They want to take a certain amount of your mind capacity, bam, and put it into their phone. And man, they're really good at it. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And I'm guilty of it, guys. I'm so guilty of it. Right now, I'm in this big push of scaling our business. And so I'm all into social media. Okay? And it has to be a conscious effort, an absolute practice for me to set my phone down. For my wife, said, babe, let's set our phones down. Let's just plug into each other. Okay? Let's turn the TV off. Let's set our phones down. Let's plug into each other. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You're worth that. I'm worth that. We are worth that. Okay? Your children are worth that. So many of us have a difficult time speaking to our teenage children, our 20-something children, our preteen children. Why? Because they're so dialed into their phones, and we are too. We've allowed these phones, we've allowed these laptops to babysit them since they were little. I'm going to encourage each of you to make giving your time to your relationships a massive priority, okay? If you're not doing it yet, it's going to be awkward at first. You're going to feel weird and stupid and dumb and like, man, nobody really wants this. Yes, they do. People who love you, people who care about you, they want your time, okay? And so make it a priority. Go for a walk with your wife in the afternoon when you get home from work, okay? 10 minutes up and down the street. Take your child and say, hey, come for a walk with Dad. Come for a walk with Mom. Let's go out in the backyard and sit down. Let's go sit on the swing. And let's just chat for a second. How was your day? How are you doing? Okay? Hey, what are you feeling good about in your life right now? Are you struggling with anything? Put your arm around them and say, I got you. I love you. I care about you. You're so special to me. You're so important to me. And watch and see how things start to unfold in these relationships. Okay? And that's the next pillar of what I believe is so important in relationships, and it's love. And let me tell you something. Love ain't no feeling, okay? Love ain't butterflies. It ain't roses. It's not a warm bath, okay? Love is a verb. Love is an action. Love is what we do. It's taking that time. It's setting down the phones. It's going on a walk. It's sacrificing what I want, what what I want, to be able to give to the people that I love. For men, you know what it is? It's your money. Give your money to your wife, to your children, to the people that you love. Because how do all of us men, how do we feel respect? How do we feel value? How do we feel worth? Oh yeah, it's about our money. Okay? Trust me, I'm guilty. I know you understand. I know you can relate to it. Okay? But really, is that as important to us? Is that as important to us? Is the relationships? A good friend of mine told me a statement the other day. The guy's name is Brian Blackman. He's one of the most impactful humans I've ever known. I hope to have him on the podcast very, very soon. He's a college football coach, a husband, and a father. And man, he's impacted literally thousands of people's lives. And he told me, he said, Red, he said, I want you to hear this. He said, leaving a legacy is not about what you do when you're on this earth. Leaving a legacy is what people are able to accomplish because they knew you and had relationship with you while you were on the earth. Man, that hit me so hard because he's so right. Well, how in the world are people going to be able to accomplish things, accomplish great things, achieve their goals and dreams because of Red Taylor if I'm not able to give them my time? And give them action as in, hey, listen, what's going on in your life? Okay? You're important to me. Tell me, how can I help you today? Okay? Do you need anything from me? So give people your time. Guys, I'm telling you right now, and there's so many others. The guys were laughing as I was writing these down because I was like, hey, I got 5 pillars of relationships that I'm going to talk about. Next thing you know, I've got like 9 or 10 of them written down here. But I think that those are as important as any that are out there, and we can continue to communicate them on future episodes. But I believe that those are going to give everybody a good start, including me. I want y'all to understand something. Anything that I tell you today, I'm telling myself because I am the least among us. I promise you I am. And so what I want you to understand is any of this talk is coming back at me. And I hope and pray that I'm able to take my own advice and these lips that keep flapping, that I'm able to listen to myself, and that some of it, the good stuff, sinks down inside and is able to resonate with me and go back home and to flourish in my own relationships, because they're not perfect and they all need a lot of work. just like yours and the rest of us. And so I just encourage you guys, take this information, make it important to you, because when we're laying on our deathbed and when we're at our final days and we're going to meet our final destiny, because we will. We're all good. We all know that, right? That's the only thing that we know for sure, is that one day we will leave this earth in this form. We're going to leave the earth. And during that time, those final moments, what we all want is for the people that we truly loved and truly loved us to be there with us. And that we want to know that we made an impact in people's lives for good, for good. And I love you. I believe in you. And I want you to go, and I want you to have the courage to take action on these things today and start building the relationships, the meaningful, long-lasting, impactful relationships that you and the people around you deserve. And I'm Red Taylor with the Red Hot Read Show.